last week we made some big improvements to the forms in Piccolo Admin. So now you can actually return files, which is super useful. I've actually used it a ton even since last week. So for reporting purposes, you can return CSV files, PDFs, JPEGs, whatever you like. So let's do a quick demo. So here I've got Piccolo Admin open, and you can see in the sidebar I've got a bunch of forms. So historically with forms, if we take this calculator example, you would enter in some values, submit the form, and you would just get text back, so here the answer is 4. So that's a very simple form. But now we can return files. So I've got a couple more examples here. So download director movies and download schedule. So this download director movies is going to download a CSV file. So it just asks me for the name of a director. So if I put George Lucas and I submit, you can see here that I actually downloaded a file. And if you can see here, we now have a CSV file. And then similarly, we have this download schedule where, because this admin example is basically modeling like a cinema or like a movie database, if you imagine you need to download the schedule for a cinema, let's just pick a date and submit. And then it downloaded this JPEG file. And if we open this, you can see here that it generated an image and downloaded it. Okay, so let's have a quick look at how we were able to achieve that. So if we jump over to the docs, here is the CSV example. So basically, rather than returning a string from the endpoint, you just return a file response. So here's our example form config. So like usual, we just specify a Pydantic model, we specify an endpoint, but then here we return the file response. And the content has to either be a string IO or a bytes IO. So what we do in this endpoint is we do a Piccolo query to get all the movies. We create a string IO object, and then we just use CSV dict writer to write to that string IO object, and then we return it. So it's actually really simple. So that's all you need to do to basically do CSV file downloads in Piccolo Admin. And then we also have the image example. So again, this is very similar, except we use bytes IO rather than string IO because it's bytes data. And you can see here what we do is, in this example, we're just reading a file in from the file system. And then we use shuttle.copyFile object to copy the bytes from that file into a temporary object, which we then return. So the reason we're doing this is because this allows us to close the file properly before returning the data. So one warning with this is it's just intended for kind of small to medium sized files. So if you want to download a 1 gigabyte 4K video file, like it's not appropriate for that at the moment, but we will work on that in the future. This is mostly for like reporting purposes. So that's it for today. I hope you find it useful. I certainly have. So I'll catch you later.